Welcome to the BDO News of April 2022. These are the headlines. We learn how relationship managers get inspired to create more impact with their clients, and we see hybrid working in practice within our company. BDO doesn't have plain salespersons. As the organization has personal touch embedded in its DNA, BDO trains those who are in close contact with clients to adopt the profile of a relationship manager. In order to build strong, lasting relationships with clients, the relationship manager needs to know his clients better and understand his business challenges and ambitions. To this end, BDO organizes regularly an inspirational session teaching how to create more impact with clients by embracing a more personal and client-centric approach. This way, the relationship manager is not just appreciated for his qualitative service delivery, but also perceived as a trusted advisor, helping clients to achieve their personal objectives. The BDO News followed a couple of relationship managers during such an inspirational session.
We learn about how we can give value to our conversations when talking to clients and potential clients. Give a meaning to the service meetings that we have. I learned that we should have more of them, that we should have more conversations about not only our project, but also what is living within the organization and listening to the client.
I'm convinced that we can use it already as of tomorrow. The training today was very user-friendly, very practical. We try to use very much cases which are very typical also in the BDO environment. So I think the training was very practical today.
In the future, there will definitely be more of these sessions. So every quarter, there will be a relationship manager community day.
I would recommend this project to all persons that are looking for an evolution in the company and also to make sure that they can serve their clients properly, because Nick at GPI really gives us some key to better understand our clients' needs and to better position it ourselves also towards the client.
Everybody is, of course, welcome. Today there were 20 people in the room discussing their potential questions and their new customers that they're going to target. So I look forward to meeting all of you in the next sessions.
COVID-19 speeded up the switch to telework. Turning back the clock once the dust of the pandemic has settled down seems no longer an option. After all, according to our BDO telework survey, 84% of employees would like to telework 2 or more days a week in the post-corona era. Working partly at home and partly in the office will be an important lever in the new labour model, hybrid working. This means that companies will have to fundamentally rethink their work organisation. And how about teleworking at BDO? Let's listen to some of the stories of our colleagues.
Het nieuwe normaal is voor mij echt de flexibiliteit tussen een paar dagen op kantoor werken of bij de klant en eveneens van thuis uit te kunnen werken om hier te kunnen focussen op rapporteringen afwerken. Het is ook heel handig voor mij dat ik tijdens de pauze of 's morgens mijn kinderen naar school kan doen, kan gaan ophalen en 's avonds na het school dat mijn zoon dan naast mij kan zitten om dan rustig zijn huiswerk te maken. Jammer genoeg zijn er ook wel eens wat gênante momenten met de kinderen thuis. Dat we in een call zitten en dat ze in een keer de deur opengooien en heel hard roepen dat ze naar het toilet moeten of zo. Maar met kleinere kinderen is het inderdaad wel handig om een apart bureau te hebben, eventjes de deur te kunnen dichtdoen en toch rustig te kunnen werken. Bovendien, ja, thuiswerken heeft dan ook het voordeel dat ik wel wat tijd bespaar met het commuten, omdat naar Antwerpen rijden mij toch snel een uurtje tot 1,5 uur tijd vraagt 's morgens.
Ik ben het manager van alles. Zorg voor een beetje alle logistiek bij BDO. Ondersteuning, alles wat aan logistiek nodig heeft. Afgelopen 2 jaar waren er geen evenementen, dus heb ik een aangepast takenpakket gekregen. Nu in het nieuwe normaal is voor de meeste mensen telewerken. Voor mij is dit niet van toepassing. Door de flexibele uur bij BDO kan ik 's morgens vroeg vertrekken, zodat ik 's avonds de kindjes kan gaan ophalen op school. Ik ben perfect gelukkig met deze regeling en zie mij dit nog jaren doen.
Mijn week ziet er als volgt uit. Wij hebben afgesproken met het team dat wij op maandag en dinsdag naar kantoor gaan. Dat is wel veel beter om dan zo zaken te kunnen bespreken face-to-face. En de andere dagen werk ik thuis en ik vind dat een prima combinatie.
Als je kan Robby. Nou, flinke meid. Bravo, meisje.
Doordat ik nu een paar dagen thuis werk, heb ik wel een aantal zaken moeten aanpassen, zoals een tweede scherm installeren. Ik zit aan mijn eettafel. Ja, dat is 's avonds als je gaat eten, alles van achter op de kast. En dan 's morgens vroeg terug alles terugzetten. Maar ik vind dat geniaal. Ik heb daar totaal geen problemen mee.
Maintenant, dans le new normal de BDO, je travaille à 2 à 3 jours par semaine à la maison et le reste au bureau. Mais ça change de semaine en semaine parce que de par ma nouvelle fonction Facility, je suis amené à avoir différents bureaux dans la semaine. La balance privée-professionnelle est assez intéressante de par le fait que les écoles sont restées ouvertes. Donc à la maison, je suis seul et je me concentre facilement. Je n'ai pas les enfants qui me dérangent, donc c'est facile. Cependant, j'ai le temps d'apporter les enfants à l'école et de les chercher aussi. Et ça, je trouve ça très important, puisque avant, je n'avais pas la possibilité de le faire, vu que je restais jusqu'à 5 heures, 6 heures au travail parfois, même plus.
Oui, d'ailleurs, c'est la même chose pour moi, puisque malgré que je n'ai pas d'enfant, cette flexibilité m'a vraiment permis de commencer le sport, de me vider l'esprit, de me vider la tête, chose que je ne faisais pas avant et qui est vraiment bénéfique, puisque après 2 voire 3 réunions par Teams consécutives, parfois on a vraiment besoin de se vider l'esprit et de s'aérer.
Welcome, Mario. You are a workplace strategist. Quite a fancy word, but what does it mean?
Well, it means that we had the new way of working, we had the hybrid way of working, and actually we now don't need to have solutions for today, but we need to look to the future. We need to put a strategy in place. So for the workplace strategists.
And I'm talking about hybrid working. Will this continue to thrive now we're all allowed to go back to the office?
I do hope that it will. We learned a lot of the last months, the last 2 years, and it would be such a pity not to take that back to the future. We saw that in those 2 years, operationally, everything continued, and it shocked some managers that said before the pandemic, Mario, it's impossible that we can have the new way of working and teleworking and activity-based working, and people did prove that it can happen. So we made it happen.
And do you think that the Manhattan of Brussels North will crowd again like before?
I think it will crowd again, but it will crowd differently. It will crowd more in a mixture of people going to the office and people that are living there and shopping, and it will be another ecosystem than that it has been taught in the past as pure offices and car-driven place to come to.
Yeah, talking about car-driven, public transportation has been limited or even avoided at times during the pandemic. Do you think that this will influence our mobility in the future?
I think it will. I mean, when you look to the statistics, especially China and France, they are already looking to beyond the car and moving back to alternatives like the bicycle, etc. But on the other hand, I also think that I'm also very surprised if I see that the legislation in Belgium worked so hard on the mobility budget, the mobility beyond the car, where a lot of solutions have been thought to replace the company car with other solutions. And I think I see also in habits, if you work 3 days from home and you have 2 cars today, it's useless to have 2 cars today when you work 3 days from home. I hear a lot of friends and a lot of customers also thinking of a new balance with that company car.
And then tell me, Mario, what have we learned during these 2 years of challenging times?
We learned a lot. As I said already earlier, operationally, we learned that we can work from home and that we can make operations happen. If you see in the public sector, 95% of the people never worked from home. In 2020, we surveyed that as BDO. Never worked from home, and suddenly they had to work all 5 days a week from home and make it happen.
It worked.
And it worked. The first months, people suffered. I mean, at home, even the dog was not relaxed and the kids were crying over the table, but everyone found his place. And after a few weeks, some people came to me and said, Mario, you were right, that teleworking and that new way of working is working. In my company, we get organized. So we learned a lot from that side. Another thing that we learned also is a better life balance. Some people are early birds, get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Others prefer to be nocturnal and work till midnight in the evening because they are more creative at that time. We learned to live and to work closer to ourselves, to our nature. In the post-industrial period, we had to come to work 9 to 5 because there were no computers. You also had to sit behind typing machines. But now our work is a computer. We can work anywhere, anytime, how we want. So what we learned is getting closer to ourselves.
Yeah, and does that mean that this has made us happier?
I do think, and if you look to the literature today, a lot of people did a mental reset during that pandemic and learned to live differently. And I do think that we have the opportunity now to be happier, to make a better life after this pandemic.
Yeah, and then how have you experienced working at home?
Well, from a professional point of view, when I saw the pandemic coming and with the lockdown, it was prime time. I thought, wow, this is
quite an opportunity.
Opportunity also, but for the people that we want to try to convince to change their habits, to try to work from home and work and place independent, and it happened there. And so we did give a lot of information to help them to get them organized themselves, and so it was prime time. 2020 was really prime time. For myself, it was also a good moment to look into myself. How do I experience 5 days a week? Because 3 days or 2 days a week working from home, okay, but 5 days a week at home with your partner, it's a challenge.
Yes.
But 2021 was different. It was
then it became a drag to work from home. Yeah. Do you have any final tips for all of us working in the hybrid world?
Well, reinvent yourself, reinvent your organization. Really, really look back what you learned of those 2 last years, and ask you simple questions like, how will we meet with our team together? Do we have to have a physical meeting every week, or do we reinvent and we have an online meeting or stand-up meetings every X time, and we have a good moment of connectivity once a month? But in the morning we do business stuff, and in the afternoon we do fun stuff to get to know each other, the things that we all very like a lot, and that we see that we come to the office for that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Mario.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching the BDO News. Looking forward to meet you again next month.